So today's video is not exactly what it seems to be, and it's also an exercise for me. So first, this is not a video of my favorite books of all time or even of the past year. It is just about my favorite physical books to hold in my hand, because I feel that the more I like a book, the more wear and tear it has, and the more I want to hold it and just feel it. And I love not like a destroyed look. Oh, fuck. That was the second part of this video, that I was going to try to make a video and not say like, and I just said it, and I probably said it and didn't notice before, but I'm gonna keep going. I'm just gonna keep going, and I'm not gonna cut any out. I'm just gonna try my best to go right through. So I'm scared. But yes, let me begin. Right now, I'm reading Demons, and I have a video that I made on Shorts a long time ago showing my different Dostoevsky vintage classics and how disgustingly dirty they all were, and this was the perfect, pristine, untouched book that I had, and I said I wanted to try to maintain it. And as you can see, I don't even know if you can see that well, it's creased like a motherfucker, and it looks so dirty, and there's some warping from water damage, and I dog-eared a ton of pages. And I could sit at my desk at work and just hold this in my hand and rub my hands on it and flip it open and see how the pages fall now that the spine is broken, and I just love it. I love everything about this. In terms of the actual paper, it's not my favorite. I feel that this is a kind of paper that feels a little bit rough. It kind of feels like after a while the oils in my hands are, I don't know, getting like dried up out of it. So this is not my favorite kind of paperback. If anything, it's a shitty ass one, especially because I was just like, oh, I just glitched and used the word, trying to think if I had just said the word. Okay, let me keep going. You're going to see that there's another book that really does the paperback big ass book right, and it's this one. This is my favorite paperback I think I own, not because it's Anna Karenina, but because it's a Quality Paperbacks Classics, which I had never heard of before. These pages are soft like New York Review books pages. You know, you see how the spine on this looks? These books are pretty much the same length, or damn near the same length. And I don't have any creasing, and it's not because I didn't bend this book and mistreat it. It just is so resilient. It actually amazes me. This is seriously one of the best paperbacks I've ever owned, laid eyes on, and I actually love the look of it, love the look of the cover. I just feel that when I look at a book, everything about it is beautiful physically. I just genuinely feel so much passion for physical books. So the next book I'm going to show is this one. And what I love about this one is that it is a advanced copy. So it's bigger than, you know, it is now that it's come out, especially the paperback version. I've seen it in Europe and it's small and fatter. But this, just so wide, so big, and this beautiful paperback with this beautiful spine. Again, this one didn't really break. I mean, I guess I could have, but it feels sturdy, just like this one. You can see here, like, oh, you can see here just from me holding the book open with my thumb, it started to rip. So, not that I care about that, but this is a plus. The quality of the spine is just great, and I loved reading something so wide and big. As I'm making this video, I feel like I feel that it's pointless to make this video, but I'm gonna keep pushing through. Who knows if anybody will even see it. I'm gonna try not to edit it either, because in most of my videos, I stay cutting out me saying like and all of that. And I still say it too much, so much. So I'm really trying to be more articulate, because that's what I feel is my biggest struggle with making videos. I just don't take the time. If I was just sitting here and not recording myself and just speaking, I would even feel more comfortable taking pauses and really thinking about what I want to say. But the second I'm recording, I kind of feel rushed. I feel that, you know, my phone's gonna run out of storage or my phone's gonna die, because editing is torture for me too. I hate going back and hearing what I have to say. So anyways, this copy of A Little Life specifically, I brought to the beach, I brought to the pool, and it's one of my favorite books to hold because of how crunchy and warped it is. And I don't like this page texture either. This one and this one and this one are all kind of similar, where they're not very soft. They're kind of as soft as bare minimum soft. I think there I can say like bare minimum soft, because I'm comparing. I don't know. So yeah, I also like this layered look and the texture of this first page, especially a long book that I hold for a long period of time, because it's taking me a while to get through it. I just love something that I can bend, fold, looks like shit by the time I get to the end of it. There's more time for me to show it love. So this is one of them. I'm definitely not rereading this for the next few years. There's no need to. I have it all very clear and present in my mind. But I thought I would include it. And I also love that it's just gray tones. I feel that I've seen this book before with bluer tones, and I don't know if I'm wrong about that, but I just love this monochromatic look. And I think that the only thing I didn't love about it was maybe just the spine. I felt this is so beautiful and emotive and, you know, black and white that I like. And then this color, when it's on my shelf, not the biggest fan, but doesn't matter. Next, I love when books have a little cunty ass belt. I just think that this is so cute, and it's one of the reasons I bought this book. I also gave up on reading it because I just hate French so much. I hate jump scare in the video because I'm editing and watched the last clip, and I kind of take it back. I just watched Anatomy of a Fall an hour ago, and that film is in English but mostly in French, and I was understanding so much where when subtitles would lag, I kind of knew at least the gist of what was coming or what the next sentence was from the French, and I think that drew me back in. So I retract my statements about hating French. Hearing myself try to speak it, I hate myself. The sound of my voice, reading it in my head when I'm reading a book in French. So I don't know when or if I will ever go back to this, but it's cute and it's small, and I just love the little belt it has. And I also love when it's a paperback but it has this front flap, even though it's not flapping around an actual hardcover. And I guess this is the publisher, perhaps? I think that is so pretty and cute. Everything about this book was perfect for me to buy it, and I have no regrets aesthetically. Okay. Then this book and this book are kind of in the same category for me, and the reason that I like them, they have sharp, beautiful spines. Actually, the Shar is not so much. Motherless Brooklyn had such a structured spine. This is a plus. This is a good sign. And I like this glossy cover. The more I looked at the cover, the more I liked it. I liked this dark stripe running through the spine. But again, these pages are even rougher than the other ones, so I'm not a big fan of these pages. But New York Review Books hands down, have the best, softest pages on planet Earth. I remember the first one I read was Lucky Jim, and I was holding it in my hands, and I just felt like, oh, I just felt that the pads of my thumbs and everything were just gliding across the pages. So I'm also a big fan of their margins. I'm a big fan of their fonts, and overall just quality books. They always publish great things. So I'm very excited to see how this big ass beast holds up when I read it next. See how the spine holds up once I crack this bad boy open, because crack it open I must. I like to be able to have it kind of flat on my, oh, okay, well, there goes a crease. And I think I showed the shards. I love this glossy, bendy book, and I love the font, especially when it's a new chapter. It's just the font for the number of the chapter, but I love it. Look at that number. I love that. And I just love the back of it. I love this ombre of color. I love the blood spatter. I love this picture of Brett. I felt that this kind of looked a little wordy, but there's nothing wrong with that. This is another book that I enjoyed holding while I was reading it, a little bit more than I enjoyed actually reading it. The design is very llamativo. What's the word in English? I don't know. Attractive, I guess. And there is a parasite living in the narrator's guts. So here we read the inner thoughts of the worm in his intestine or whatever. So I thought that was very interesting and cool. Again, these pages are average as fuck. I should mention that I love books that I buy in Colombia because they are always just a little bit taller than books here, right? Yeah. Taller and skinnier, and they have what I love, which is the flap for a paperback. And even though these pages are rough, I still like the look of them. I like how they fold out. I like holding this in my hand. I love just this long, tall page. I feel the more I film this video, the more I think that it's actually so stupid. But I promise you, these are things that I think of when I'm buying books, when I am reading books. I'm not just making this shit up. So here's a book that I enjoyed, but everything about it, I hated. Everything about it physically made me hate reading it because these margins are so small. Look at how high up the page that goes. And there are basically no chapters, it seems like, so each section is so long and the page just felt so long to read. So even though I love this book and the story, I think this edition just made me feel sluggish reading it. But I am a big fan of these colors, the different shades of orange. You see it's not exactly white. So this is a beautiful book. And another book that I'm a big fan of holding is The Goldfinch. I haven't held this in ages, oh my goodness, but I love how big and floppy it is. Again, average pages, but the texture of the book itself is lovely, and I wouldn't want to have it hardcover. I almost never want anything in the hardcover, except for this, my baby, Glamorama by Bret Easton Ellis, first edition. And here you can see all of the celebrities. My mom hates little holes. I don't think she has the trypophobia necessarily, but she does not like the look of it at all. So she hates this book. And I'm sure if she knew what contents it had, she would hate it even more. But it has these beautiful raw edges. Imagine that. It makes having the hardcover all worth it. I love that the title is here on the side. I love just numbers for chapters and the number being here on the side and not in the middle. I love that. So this is a book that I love. I don't lend this book out. I lend my other books to my friends, but this is the one that does not leave my shelf because I try to keep it pristine. Although when I was reading it, I was guilty of holding it like that, but I'm not going to do that anymore. I didn't know it was a first edition when I did that. So also, I hope that you guys let me know if I say the word like and don't notice it, but personally I think that I haven't said it aside from the times that I've acknowledged it. So I'm gonna go back and just edit parts where there's like, oh I'm gonna go back and edit parts where there's awkward pauses or I stumble over my words, but I will not be editing out any of the likes. So we'll see how I actually did, because I've been saying that word too much my whole life. I've been hearing shit about it my whole life, and speaking is always more fun when there's not an annoying bitch in your ear telling you you're saying like too much. But when I go back and edit my videos, I realize I'm the annoying bitch. So